Good morning. Today's gospel is from Matthew chapter 21 verses 33 to 43 and 45 to 46. In this, we talk about the parable of the landowner who plants a vineyard and then gives it out to some tenants to take care of the land. And when harvest time comes, the landowner sends his servants. First time he sends 3 to the tenants to collect the harvest, and when the tenants see these servants, they basically beat them, kill them, and then they stone the third. The second time the landowner sends another set of servants, and this time they treat them the same way. And finally the landowner decides to send his son, thinking that, hey, they're gonna respect my son, they're gonna fear him, take care of him, and do what they need to do. But on seeing the son approach the land, these tenants, they basically think that, hey, this guy's the heir to everything, to this land, to its prosperity. So if we kill him, there's going to be no heir, and we're gonna get all this land and prosperity to ourselves. So let's kill him. And then they kill him. So then Jesus asks the chief priests and the elders present there, what would happen to these tenants once the landowner comes to know that not only did these tenants kill his servants, but most importantly his son. And they replied that the landowner is going to put or give them a wretched death to these wretched men. So Jesus talks about over here, as you can see, he says, the stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. By the Lord has this been done, and it is wonderful in our eyes. Therefore, I say to you, the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to a people that will produce its fruit. So this parable talks about unity, about love, about forgiveness. It also is a prelude to what's going to happen to Jesus. He is the Son, God being the landowner, and us humans being the tenants. We rejected all his prophets that God sent. We stoned them, we killed them, and we rejected his messengers. He did that again. He sent more prophets and people rejected them. Finally, he sent a son, thinking that people will worship him, listen to his word. And what did the people at that time do? We crucified him, we stoned him. So this parable, today's gospel, for me, talks about forgiveness, about acceptance, about treating one another with love, with forgiveness. It also talks about unity, but if you read the parable, it seems like the people at that time, the tenants, they were united in their hatred. They were actually united in their greed, because they wanted to keep the land, because they wanted to harvest the prosperity, and they were more keen to do the wrong thing, and they were united in that. So unity exists, but I feel it's easy to unite in hatred rather than unite in love, because unity in love requires us to forgive the other person, to forgive whatever they might have done wrong to us, or whatever we perceived as wrong. Maybe they said something, maybe they did something, or maybe they didn't say something, or maybe they didn't do anything that might have offended us. And as a result, we hold a grudge. We are upset, and that grows and grows, especially when you don't address it. We keep it within us, and just like a seed, our hatred, our disgust towards the other person, our complaints start watering that seed, and it grows and grows and grows into a tree of hatred, and we start distrusting the other person. So it's important that whenever we have an issue with a family member, with a loved one, maybe someone in church, because again, people who in this faith, we're all brothers and sisters, we're all one family. Whenever you have a disagreement with a fellow human being, it's important to address it. It's important to talk about what you disagree on and resolve it, rather than letting it grow and become something that it's not supposed to, something bad, something unpleasant. And it's hard. There are times when I hold on to grudges. There are times when I am not happy of another person's accomplishment. I don't rejoice in their accomplishments. I'd rather feel jealous. I try to find faults in their accomplishments. I'd say, oh, they took a shortcut to get where they need to be, or they did something that I wouldn't do. Basically try to nitpick and justify my stance versus theirs. So the concept of forgiveness, of finding love, of sharing that love, while it sounds pleasant, while it sounds all nice, I believe that it's a really long and treacherous journey. But once you're able to get into that habit of forgiving one another, then you really start on the path to salvation, of finding inner peace. So if there's one message that I have for you guys, is try and learn to forgive, try and learn to accept the other person, try and rejoice in their accomplishments and not be jealous of the other person. If you have an issue with a family member or a loved one, or just a fellow human being, address it. I think it's more important that we talk about it and try and find a common ground, or at least let the other person know what you're feeling about something they've done or not done, rather than letting it grow within you. So with that message, that's all for today, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay blessed.